Hey guys, it's Beth, and welcome back to some more Minecraft. Um, it was a bit of a rough night for me last night. Basically what happened was, I should be at work right now, but I'm not. And the reason for that is, I have to go to bed at 8 p.m. to wake up at 3 a.m. for work. The issue with that is, last night, from the hours of 8 p.m. to 3 a.m., I could not sleep at all. I laid in bed, tossing and turning, trying my absolute damnedest to go to bed, and I just couldn't. So I had, like, I work a physically demanding job. It would be irresponsible of me to go to work in this condition. Since I'm still tired, I just can't sleep. And, work overall hasn't been that great for me this week. On Wednesday, when I was working in the morning, I was putting away stuff on the bottom shelf and ripped my pants. I essentially tore off one of the pant legs, had to tell my manager, and I had to go home, get a different pair of pants, and then come back to work. And so both of these incidents have really upset my mother, for no reason other than she really does just like having things to complain about. Um, and that's genuinely it. Like, I don't want to sound like a brat, even though in reality I am. Like, it's just kind of the truth. It's just, my mom knows, like no other person, how to leach vibe arsenic directly into the air. And for literally years, I would go to school with just like ear infections or just like terrible sicknesses just because I didn't want to have to deal with mom making a giant deal out of it. And my mom always decides to wake up at the same time as me when I'm going to work just to know that I am leaving for work because, bit of a control freak there, but that's just how it is, and I guess for safety reasons, I guess it makes sense to know that, like, hey, this person is actually leaving the house. Um, but basically, it's very hard for me to call out, when I have to deal with someone like that who has never changed their way of thinking from when I was going to school, and that everything is just an excuse to get out of work. And that's 100% not it. I'm genuinely trying to be the safest I freaking can for this. And she just decides, no, that's not true. So she's very nonplussed with me this morning, and the best way that I can describe it is, I will I will say exactly what she said to me just a few minutes ago before she left to go shopping or whatever. She said that if I called out while working at any other job as many times as I've called out for Lowe's, I wouldn't still have a job. So, I have been working at Lowe's for the past 5 to 6 months, and I've called out 3 times. I've taken days off, but the fun part about that is they were all of this, every single one of those, like scheduled, like, hey, put this on my thing, I'm not actually going to be able to come in on this day. Just like straight up changing it so I'm no longer scheduled for that day. She was the one who came up with all of those days because she wanted a vacation week with her family, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll do that. I'll take time off of work, that way I can do that. And I have called out 3 times from Lowe's. Twice for this apparent insomnia, 1 time just because I felt like absolute garbage and that I genuinely felt like I was going to die. So that's fun. It's just like... So, part of the reason that I actually, like, was looking for a job in the first place was not just because, you know, I wasn't going to college and well, I was taking a break from college, but I don't know how that's going to turn out. Um, it's like, basically what happened was my dad was on disability for a very long time because he injured his back. So he was at home all the time, and that made my life a living hell for several months. I literally decided, you know what, I'm going to go get a job because I do not want to have to interact with this on a daily basis and just feel like shit for existing in my own house. And, basically, after several months of searching, I did get hired at Lowe's, and that's what I've been doing for the past several months. And, you know, I literally went into Lowe's specifically to get away from my family for several hours. And genuinely, it's bad there, but in regards to interacting with my family, I'm really no longer like... I no longer even feel the obligation to, like, even want to be cordial with them at this point. It's just problem after problem for no apparent reason, just because they feel like starting shit. It's a shame that, you know, according to studies, the minimum wage in New Jersey would have to literally be like 3 times what it currently is for me to be able to get a 2-bedroom apartment for rent each month. So it's not like I'm going to be able to leave anytime soon unless this whole situation blows up and I'm able to get donations to leave this situation. I used to think that my dad was the bigger of the problems within my parents, but now that I'm at this point in my life, I realize that, you know, my dad at least was like, he's always been upfront with the fact that he's not a good person. My mom just kinda tries to hide it. It's just like, I don't know. I wish I could have my own space. I wish I didn't have to... I guess, in some ways I do wish I didn't have to work for a living, but, like, I'm fine doing work. I've never had an issue with work itself. Like, it's very laborious what I'm currently doing, but if I had a guarantee... Oh, hi, Axolotl. You are not safe, I don't think. Hey, listen, just come with me. I'll get you out of here. No, not that direction, not that direction. Stop, 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 stop. No, 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 no. Nope, nope, stop, stop. I will save you. It's okay, I'm gonna go get a lead. You know, if I, like, here's the thing. if I worked at Lowe's and, like, hell, even if I had to go back to my 5-day work week instead of the 3 days that I've been doing, even if that guaranteed me that I was able to move out and, like, just have, I don't want much. I literally just need a small apartment with enough room for my games and figures. Like, that's all I really care about at this point. Like, that, and, like, if the apartment had, like, a bathtub, that's all I really care about. Like, genuinely. If I could do that and was guaranteed to be able to survive, I would go back to working 5 days every week. I could take that. The bar is so fucking low for my standard of living right now, because I've essentially been living out of my room for the past several years because I don't want to talk to my family, because every time I do, it essentially will eventually devolve into just me feeling like garbage for existing. And it's like, I feel like shit because I know my mom despises the fact that I'm trans. I know it. She'll never admit to that, but I know it. Like, she 100% thinks that she has failed as a parent because I, quote unquote, turned out trans, which, you know, there's plenty of other reasons that you're a bad parent, but we'll just ignore those for the moment. It's literally like, I feel like I need to, like, go down a list, but, like, basically, my mother, she was not, like, directly involved with raising me my entire life. I lived with my grandparents for a substantial portion of my life growing up. Like, that's one thing. She was not always a parental figure to me. And that one I can't blame her for because, you know, it was the recession. She was working extra hours. I get it. Like, it's just what happens. I forgot to grab the lead, god damn it. Okay. But, like, I was diagnosed with anxiety and depression when I was in, like, 7th grade. Those are problems that were not properly medicated or treated at all until last year. And the only reason that happened was because, my aunt died. That is the only reason I think I ever got medicated for depression. And I think that's also the only reason that my mom ever acknowledged the fact that I am trans, because she realized, oh hey, my sister was kind of doing a better job at being a parent than I was. Fucking hell. I get it. I am very spoiled in how I exist right now. I get it. But I wish I was anywhere but here. Right now. And I get it. A lot of people have it worse, but the trauma of one individual does not negate the trauma of others. Just because other people have suffered doesn't mean that my suffering is less valid because of it. Just because sometimes things are worse for other people does not mean that what I'm going through isn't real or isn't worthy of, like, being spoken of. And, like, that goes for everyone. Like, no matter what your own trauma is, it's still valid no matter how big or small it may seem comparatively to other people's. It's literally just like everyone has their own life experiences, and not everyone can handle things the same way. And the axolotl disappeared before I came back. Thank God, you know? I really... the... That's fine. That is fine. Okay, it's still like seeing how much of this like fuel I still have in my system for... Come back now. Okay. Seeing how much fuel I still have left in my system for being angsty. Honestly, I think I've got way more steam left in me, so that's gonna continue going, I guess. Of course, you know, a lot of my problems just in general boil down to being treated by my mother in a certain way. I have alluded to it in the past, and I think I've even, like, straight up told the story before in the past. But my mother, in her infinite wisdom, when I was a very young child who was interested in art, and that was all that I loved, that's all I enjoyed doing. It was the thing that I loved the most. It was painting, sculpting, drawing, whatever I could do. You know, I grew up wanting to be an artist. And my mother literally talked to me for what seemed like hours one day, as a literal child, just going down how if I were to become an artist, I would literally starve to death. I'm sure you can understand the amount of just, like, trauma that caused, and after that I got funneled into a career path that right now I have no interest in pursuing anymore, because I don't think I ever actually held an interest for it in the first place. It was just her wanting me to do a specific thing and following down that one specific route. And I feel like a failure because at this point in my life I essentially have no skills or talents, because anything that I liked doing in the past got shaken and scared out of me, or it just isn't something that is really, like, applicable to being used in the job setting. It really does just feel like I'm just a bystander in my own life. And that's all that I am. I have never been suicidal, it's just sometimes I wish I wasn't here. I don't want to die, I just sometimes don't want to exist. I wouldn't want to put the pain on others of me being gone, but I don't want to have the pain of being here. honestly, like, I wanted to record, like, this week's entire, like, slate of videos today, but I don't know if I have the heart in me today. I think I just want to... I don't want to do anything. There's nothing left that I enjoy other than recording, but even that has become draining. God. But I guess, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all so much for listening. I'm not... Just thank you so much, because I know that there have been some people watching, and that does genuinely mean the world to me that people are here listening to my problems, because that's a lot of what this channel always was. It was a safe space for me to just talk about my feelings more than anything else. And knowing that people hear me and understand, and like, it just makes me feel way more at home. So thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.